What's going on? Welcome to 5-Pillar Mobility. Let's grab yourself a comfy spot on your mat, lying on your back, getting ready for some me time. Finding yourself in a nice, relaxing headspace, letting go of any ongoing stress, any tension, any worries. Just mentally go into your happy place and allowing yourself to be calm. Let's take some attention to your breath. Let's focus on directing that air into that diaphragm, feeling that belly rise on the inhale, slowly letting go of that air on the exhale, and settling into a pace that just helps you slow things down. Just relax. And let go of any stress. And on your next exhale, just imagine softening through those traps. Feeling your shoulders sink heavy into your mat. Relaxing through your face, your brow, your pecs. All those muscles around your shoulder. Just feeling yourself go limp. And let's take one more long, slow, deep inhale. Slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll take our attention into the left lat. So the lats are basically your wing muscles on the back side of your ribs. And they're a big muscle that can carry tension in a lot of different spots. If you know your typical hot spots in the lats, you can start there. If you've got tension there, feel free to settle in. And just be conscious to not settle into your comfort spots, your go-to spots. Because as we let go of tension and muscles, it tends to show up in different areas, like different layers of an onion. So keep working your way through those layers, do your diligence, and really search for what needs attention. And once you've found that spot, you can play around with the angle that you're leaning on that lacrosse ball. You can play around with how much tension you're leaning into that lacrosse ball. We can add tension by just lifting surfaces of your body off your mat to add that tension. Or if it's too tense, we can just take some of that pressure off. Find that level that feels right for you today. Let's take one more breath here. As you let go of that breath, we'll switch to the right side. So you may carry tension around the same spot. On this side, it may be very different. Start with some searching. Really look through that area, look for what needs attention. It might be in the armpit, it might be lower towards the mid-lat, it might be the lower lat. Just search for what needs attention. Settle into that tension. Find the right stimulus. And then focus on relaxing that tissue and staying relaxed through your headspace. Every chance you get, circling back to your breath, breathing into the diaphragm, and breathing through the nose every chance we get. If you've been working through the program for a few weeks, feel free to get a little more aggressive. Just being sensitive to your feedback. The rules are we look for tension release without pain. Or if we're going so hard onto a tissue that other tissues around it start to tense up, we're going a little too hard. Just find that happy medium, that right amount of tension that helps that tissue settle down. Let's take one more breath here. As you let go of that breath, we'll shift our attention into the left subscap. So there's a few ways to tackle subscap, and theoretically it takes a lot of pressure to get to it. Your subscap sits on the anterior side of your shoulder blade, and to get there takes quite a bit of pressure. So we're saying subscap in quotes. Really what we're focusing on is addressing that general area, and the best way to access it is through the front lateral side of that armpit. And we can do that with lacrosse ball, we can do that with fingertips. And if we're being progressive here, we're adding just a little bit of tension and just being sensitive to how your body's responding. If we're getting any numbness or tingling, we're going too aggressive. Find the right level of tension and the right exact location that lets that shoulder settle down. Once you've found that right stimulus, focus on getting as passive as you can through as many tissues as you can. If you're using your fingers, that can be challenging. There are tissues we don't need, like your feet, your face, your traps. Just mentally hitting the off switch on any tissues that we don't need right now. Let's take one more breath here and we'll switch sides. So let's pan through that right side. If you found a good spot on the left, feel free to start in that same area on this right side. And then settle into the right angle, the right pressure. This is definitely one you want to hit with an arm in an overhead position, just to let yourself access the area we're focusing on. Once you found the right stimulus, settle back to your breathing. Get as passive as you can through that target area. Mentally relaxing. Finding those nice chill vibes mentally. And just letting those chill vibes spread throughout your whole body. Maintaining that nice, calm, relaxing rhythm with your breath. Allowing yourself to enjoy the moment and find calm. Let's take one more breath here. And we'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll grab our PVC pipe and move into an external rotation stretch with a little overhead bias. Start by grabbing that pipe with your left hand, bend it straight back, grab it in front, pull across, and then move that elbow up and out to about 45 degrees. And you're going to be pulling that pipe forward, like you're pulling your wrist behind you. And find that right position, that right level of stretch that feels right for today. This is a nice stretch to work that kind of in-between area between your overhead and front rack to help improve that shoulder range. So staying fairly active with your right hand, but getting as passive as you can through that left shoulder. In a few seconds, we'll gently get active, and as we get active, thinking about pulling with both arms and arm wrestling that pipe towards your front side. Let's go ahead. Starting with nice easy tension, ramping up that tension as we go. Let's really finish with some big tension for these last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Try to actively pull your wrist further behind you, deeper into that external rotation. Concentrating on using that left arm and relying as little on that right arm as possible. Ramping up that tension to finish up. And big breath out, relax on that passive position. Staying active through that right hand, but if we're getting deeper, it's by relaxing that left rather than by forcing. Finding that nice relaxing rhythm with your breath. Getting as passive as we can throughout as much of your body as we can. Let's take one more breath here. As you let go of that breath, we'll switch to the right side. Grab that pipe with your right hand, bending it back, grabbing it in front, starting in a front rack, and then moving your elbow up and out to 45 degrees. And this lets us bias an overhead position with that external rotation. And getting as passive as you can now through the right side, maintaining a fair bit of activity through that left arm to pull yourself into that stretch. And consciously turning off any muscle we don't need, relaxing through that face, relaxing through the traps, relaxing anything you don't need in your lower body. And in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by imagine arm wrestling your pipe towards the front of your body and resisting with your opposite hand. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy, slowly ramping up tension as we go. And let's give a good squeeze for these last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse that. Imagine pulling that wrist behind you, actively pulling deeper into that stretch using the right shoulder. Let's finish with some big force for these last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's let go of that breath. Get passive through that right arm. Just as active as we need to be through that left arm to find the stretch that feels right for today. You may find you're a little deeper into the stretch after that little contract, relax cycle. And if not, that's okay. Just continue to trust the process. Let's take one more breath here. As you sigh out that breath, we'll set that pipe down and move into a child's pose. So this is just your plain basic child's pose, bowing position, arms overhead. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Find a nice position that feels right, feels like a nice stretch through the shoulders with zero pain. Focusing on directing that air deep into your abdomen, those diaphragmatic breaths. In a few seconds, we'll get active. But imagine dragging the floor towards your knees. And let's go ahead. Press down into the floor and imagine dragging the floor towards your knees by pulling down on your shoulder blades. Ramping up tension as we go. Big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse that. Keeping your arms straight. Imagine pushing the floor away from your knees. Elevating those shoulder blades. Ramping up tension as we go. Really squeezing here for the end. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out. Relax. Get nice and passive. Just your basic child's pose. Take a couple of nice relaxing breaths here. And in 5 seconds, we'll get active by imagine pulling your palms closer together. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy. Imagine squeezing those palms closer together overhead, using the floor as a resistance. Ramping up tension as we go. Really squeezing here for these last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Imagine spreading the floor apart. Actively trying to spread those palms apart. Keeping your triceps on, arms straight as we can. Big tension here to finish up. 3, 2, 1. Let's let go of that breath. Get nice and passive. Relax into your basic child's pose. Take your attention back to your breathing. Let's take one more good quality breath here. As you let go of that breath, we'll shift our attention into the wrists. So our first exercise is going to be a left forearm extensors release. Your extensors sit on the back side of your palm. So your palms will be face up with that lacrosse ball on your forearm. And you can use your right hand for a little added pressure here. Just find the right amount of tension and pressure to allow those forearms to settle down. And do some digging. Search for what areas need attention. And then experiment with how we're applying that tension. Experiment with how much tension we're applying. Focus on getting as passive as we can through the target tissue and through the rest of your body. There are a few muscles we obviously need, but anything else, just let it go. Relax. and allow yourself to find calm. Take your attention to your breath. Let's take one more good quality diaphragmatic breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll switch to the right side. So right arm is going to be palm up, with that forearm on top of your lacrosse ball. You can use your left arm to guide how much tension we're applying on that lacrosse ball. Do some searching for the exact area that needs attention. There's a lot of small muscles in here, and they can all be pretty sensitive and need attention. Search for what needs most attention and let that be your focus. And then settle back into your breath, maintaining a nice, relaxing, calm rhythm with your breath. Mentally staying in your happy place. Just letting go of any stress. Allowing yourself to enjoy the moment. And allowing your body to find that state of calm, that state of relaxing, that state of recovery, that state of healing. Let's take one more good quality diaphragmatic breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll move ourselves into a wrist extension stretch. So we'll do this from tabletop. We'll go palms down, fingers towards your knees, and gently lean back towards your heels into whatever amount of stretch feels right for today. There should be zero pain. If your wrists are sensitive and pretty stiff, don't feel pressured to lean back any further than is comfortable. You can even lean forward. If leaning to 90 degrees is too intense, just find the level of stretch that feels right for today. Let your body guide you through whatever position your body's okay with. And let that be your focus. Focus back on your breath. On the exhale, relax through those wrists, through those forearms. In a few seconds, we will gently get active. And as we get active, imagine pressing through the pads of the base of your fingers. And let's go ahead, starting nice and easy, attempting to resist that stretch, slowly ramping up tension as we go. Really squeezing here to finish up. 3, 2, 1, let's gently reverse. Squeeze through the top side of your hands, actively trying to pull yourself deeper into that stretch. Ramping up tension as we go. Let's really make yourself work for these last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's let go of that breath. Find that passive position. Find whatever position feels right for today. Just submit to the stretch. Get as passive as we can throughout your whole body. Keeping your attention on your breath. Let's take one more breath here. And as you sigh out that breath, we'll move ourselves into some wrist circles. So let's do this seated, and we'll gently lean your forearms on top of your knees. And just take your wrist slowly through its outer limits of range of motion. Your first few reps, just feeling out whatever range you have. And each rep, attempting to force yourself a little bit deeper towards your end limits and attempting to carve out new range. And generally, the harder we work here, the more benefit we get through those wrists to allow better stability and better control through the joint. And as we work our way through, just being a little bit more aggressive. Each rep, try to force yourself a little deeper towards your end range, challenging your outer limits. You feel like you've hit a wall, just give that subtle extra push. Let's finish real strong here. And let's let go of that breath. and we will call it a day. Thanks for joining us here with 5-Pillar Mobility. Hope your shoulders and wrists are feeling great. Hope you enjoyed the session. And if you liked the video, remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.